Caves, the often forgotten wonders of the world, have been indelibly linked to human existence since the beginning of time. Our early ancestors are known as cavemen, and some of the oldest known art in the world is found in caves. They're the source of some of our deepest beliefs and fears. There are cultures who lay their dead in caves, and others whose creation story comes from a cave. For countless eons, the spiritual have traveled into the darkness of caves to find illumination. And today, thanks to the curiosity of an intrepid few, we can go deeper than ever before to revel in the majesty of creation. When I first visited Caverns of Sonora in 2013, I wasn't as experienced in the outdoors or as knowledgeable about geology as I am now. However, one thing was clear: this place is special. It was serendipitous that I saw it at all, since it is located in a mostly deserted stretch of Texas interstate. It would have been easy to pass and give no further thought to for the rest of my life. But I now count myself fortunate to have not been in a hurry, for stopping here forever altered and informed my view of the world, and set a beacon which has called me back to it no matter how far away I have wandered.
So just below is older.
Older. So you think this was first, or it was started here and then it just moved down?
No,
It started here and then moved up?
I think so.
One part of the cave in particular stuck vividly in my mind. It's my favorite room, and though impressive, it could be easily forgotten in a cave so filled with the impressive. This is called Surprise Room, because it was filled with water until the developers of the cave tunneled through the wall and got a big surprise. This is the first Dogtooth Spar I had ever seen, a crystal that forms underwater, which means that a pool had been sitting here in the cave long enough for these giant clusters to grow off the walls. Another interesting characteristic is that there is a separation halfway down that shows an archaic water line where the crystals are even larger, meaning the water at the bottom of the pool had been there even longer. It wasn't the beauty of the crystals or the perfection of the geometric shapes or the massive size or number of clusters that really impressed me, if impressed is even the right word to use. But when I stood in front of this wall, I felt blessed that I happened to be alive at the time that this can even be seen. The circumstances being just right for this to form, the incomprehensible length of deep time that it stayed in place to grow, and the fact that in the history of humanity, I happened to be born in the 60 years since this was discovered, all hit me at once. But not only once. I could say the exact same thing again and again as I entered the other rooms of the cave. Rooms such as the Hall of White Giants, or the Pit of Vipers, or the Crystal Palace. I could say the same thing about the first time I saw cave coral, or cave bacon, for that matter, or helictites. And, oh, the helictites. A feature so rare, you can explore caves your whole life and never even see one? Then, Caverns of Sonora bores you with helictites by showing you myriad, innumerable variations of helictites. Then an order of magnitude more rare come the fishtail halictites, which fan out from their origin point, defying not only gravity, but all human attempts to explain their formation.
Where's that mango shark? There.
It's like a shark fight. Frenzy, yeah, feeding frenzy here.
Finally, the tour culminates in possibly the rarest feature of all, the only known of its kind in the whole world, the butterfly. However beautiful and rare it may be, this is where the human story of the cave begins. And as all human stories go, tragedy enters the cave. There are two men who have left their mark on Caverns of Sonora, for better or worse, and created a legacy for the world of caves. One of these men was Jack Birch. He wasn't the first man to enter the cave, but saw the cave in the early stages of discovery. He saw the damage caused by even the most careful and delicate exploration, and so had the forethought and vision to creatively destroy, in other words, develop portions of the cave to allow for ease of access for millions of people thereafter, while protecting the vast majority of the cave. He developed the pathways, stairs, bridges, guardrails, and even the tastefully sconced lighting, which have allowed countless tourists to see the cave without doing a single bit of damage for over 60 years. Every step of developed pathway in Caverns of Sonora was painstakingly considered to ultimately preserve the cave and freeze it in time. This has not only been a shining example of how to develop caves, but this has given the world of speleology one of the greatest laboratories to study some of the rarest cave features known on Earth. Features like the butterfly, which was the only known symmetrical fishtail halictite in the world, until the second man with a legacy in this cave, a complete unknown, left his mark by breaking off the top of the right wing. Though this led to greater protection of caves in Texas law, even a child can see how wrong this is. I've thought about Caverns of Sonora nearly every day since I first visited it. I think about Surprise Room and the deep awe I had when I first saw it. I think about the butterfly, the last unicorn poached by an anonymous villain. I think about Jack Birch, though I forgot his name until recently, and the lifetime of work he put into the cave to protect it. I think about the paths I build in my own life to light the darkness and the structures I build to protect that. And I try to remind myself that even the smallest of my actions can cause irreparable damage and tear down everything I've worked so hard to create.